What is? Hello, folks. Here we are, week 10, week 11 of the Audible. Going to go over week 10 in a bit. As you can see, we've got Coach Russ back, so we can wind up Lee about, that bet he won. No?
But don't forget, the Eagles smashed the Giants later on, so it was all fine. It was all fine.
He didn't have to wear that goddamn jersey in the stream, did he? So
he didn't. I should have phoned him up and said, "Do you want to wear it?"
I like Coach Russ. You good?
I'm very good. Yeah, I'm wearing a Boise State. I've gone college today because somebody hasn't returned my jersey back. Oh well, there you go.
CSU, mate.
Yeah.
See, honestly, being a CSU fan makes me kind of feel like how a Raiders fan would, kind of feel because they suck. But we'll get into that later. Coach Ross, what have you been up to?
Oh, we've been very busy at the Cats. We have now announced our new venue.
I see.
Yeah. So that's all gone out on social media. So that's a real a big hype for the club. It's historical for the club to move, and it's been a long time coming. A lot of hard work behind the scenes, but really looking forward to getting there in January or the 11th. That's when we're having our OTAs there. So if anybody wants to join the Cats, coaching wise, player wise, we've got a new venue. We've got lots to offer other than just a field in the middle of nowhere. So much more appealing for everybody to come down, check us out, and it feels like home even before we've moved in. So yeah, it's been a good week.
Love to hear it. A little plug there, like that as well. If you can hear snoring, my dog's snoring right outside the door, but he just barks and barks and barks. So I think he's got his Denver Broncos shirt on as well, but let's not do that. Lee, what have you been up to, mate? What's going on? Remembrance weekend as well. Go on, give us.
Yeah, so I've a busy weekend. I wasn't planning it, but it was a busy weekend. So I had Remembrance. I laid a wreath on behalf of the breakfast club that I attend to, the Veterans Breakfast Club. It's always good to see so many veterans coming out on sort of the Sunday parades. Obviously myself being a sort of 12-year veteran in Iraq and Northern Ireland, sort of war veteran as such. It's always good to see so many out there. But yeah, I mean, the most interesting thing is I'm in a panto.
What? He's behind you. No. You're in a panto.
Yes, mate. I'm not even joking.
That's elite. I'd love to do that.
Do you know what it was? It was one of the local production groups here. Put a post out on Facebook saying one of our lead characters has just dropped out. We need a male who can act and sing and perhaps maybe dance a little bit. And the amount of people that tagged me in that post was
overwhelming.
Unreal. Yeah. So I went.
You're not playing buttons, are you? You playing?
No,
buttons?
I'm playing a fairy, Fifi, fairy Fifi.
Do you know what I had you down as that? So that does. Do you know what I So years and years ago, I'm talking 13 years ago, 14 years ago, I used to do a lot of I did music. That was my jam. I was a bass player, but I did a bit of acting and stuff like that. And we were playing bass for a pantomime show for Lane Management. But anyone through Corrie used to go through that, and it was very intense. Like the guy would be like, "Smile now," screaming at these kids. But the parents were bothered because they'd go through Corrie and all that. But me, what have I been doing? I'm doing Movember, so I'm currently resenting a really poor Ned Flanders. I'm trying to do 60k in honor in a few friends who've had various things with cancer and mental health. I'm going to Tunisia tomorrow, so unfortunately I won't be on next week's show. We'll have a guest host. And that's it. I'm getting packed, smashing work, smashing the gym, practicing my lower body strength, maybe for some football stuff, which I'm not going to go into yet. But apart from that, gents, I think we get right into week 10. Are we up for it?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so first game of the week was the Denver Broncos against the Raiders in the windiest game of the season. For anyone who didn't watch the game, you didn't really miss much. The ball couldn't stay. The amount of field goals missed from the wind, it was absolutely crazy. 88% of the public backed the Denver Broncos to win, as well as all three of us. Steve isn't here today this week, for anyone who hasn't noticed. And we won, and it wasn't what a victory to be proud of. 10 points to 7. Look, Broncos, our defense shines again over a very squeaky clean Raiders. The wind didn't help the game at all. It is what it is. I've not really got much more to say on it other than, well, on to the next one. The big test will be this week, which we'll get into later. But for the Raiders, it just keeps getting worse. You know, I've had Steam, me and Box a few times this week. I'm like, Steve, a win's a win, mate. We're not 5-4. We're well better than that. But obviously we're not in people's power rankings, which we'll get to later. But no, another home victory for the Broncos. That's 5-0 at home. The 2 losses they've lost this season, both last second field goals. It's going to be an interesting one. Did any of you? I want to go to Lee first. Did you catch this one, mate?
Oh, mate, I watched it, and do you know what? I can only sort of like it to sort of find a similarity between when you watch doom scrolling through Facebook or Instagram,
yeah,
and you come across a video, and I'm gonna give an example.
Mm-hmm.
There was this couple. The woman was in a see-through box, and they poured Coca-Cola all inside this box, and then they put another box over her with a head popping through, and then they got a load of Mentos. And in my head, I'm like, that's not going to work, because the force of the fizz going through a narrow neck, which creates that spurting sort of sensation that everyone's used to, and this whole big tub, and I'm like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I know what's going to happen. But I watched the video until the end, and it was so disappointing.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
That's exactly what the game was. I knew what the score was going to be, but I watched it to the end, and it was just like, why did I just watch that? That's exactly what happened with that game. I tell you, it
wasn't great. I woke up at about 2:00. And when you just check your phone for the scores, and I seen that we were getting beaten, I was like, I can't do this. I'm not watching this. And I'm glad I didn't stay up and watch it. But look, a win's a win. Would either of you take a win against your rivals? Absolutely. And they're our bogey team as well. That they're a team somehow we usually get beat by, but we won. But no, I think we've got them again December the 7th. So that'll be interesting. But for me, I think their season's done. I mean, we knew it was done before that anyway. But Coach Russ, did you catch this game?
No, I didn't. But I'm interested to see how many sacks the Broncos got on this game. Do you know how many?
Oh, do you know what?
Because they're on fire on the front line, and on a windy game, I would have thought that they would have got at least 2 or 3 sacks minimum.
I think I read it was 5 sacks, but
there you go. Yeah,
I'm not surprised. I'll be honest. Like, look, I know I'm not annoying fan sometimes of my team, but we've been up against some decent offenses. Before we played the Cowboys. The Cowboys were ranked really high offense wise, and we still got a ton of sacks against them. You're going to see it this weekend, whether how good we can be. I mean, even against the Eagles. Eagles are a great team. We still did really well against them. So it's going to be interesting. Bo Nix didn't have a great game. I think he did 116 out of 28 passes caught, 150 yards, one touchdown. I'm reading here. That's not great, but when we play games here, if it's windy as anything or raining like mad, we're just going to run the ball. But it's obviously a massive different level. But look, let's move on to the next game. This was a great game. It was in Germany. The Colts against the Falcons. 72% of the public backed the Colts. All 3 of us backed the Colts. It wasn't that. It was a lot closer than what you'd think. I think the Falcons were in the lead up until the final minute. For 31-25. I did catch quite a lot of this. I've bought the NFL pass now. I've had too many dodgy things. Coach Russ, did you catch this one?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. On with the Colts, they weren't that impressive apart from one player, and that was Jonathan Taylor. He carried for 244 yards on the ground, and he carried that team. He carried
3 touchdowns.
Yeah. So big up to him on that performance. Falcons, Drake London, their wide receiver, really impressive. Got the Falcons out the hole a little bit, but
I think the Falcons lack a bit of cutthroat mentality. There's too many times where they should have just put the foot down, gone for the jugular, get the game finished. But credit to Colts, they keep getting these wins. I say keep getting these wins. The majority of the wins have been convincing, but this one was a lot closer. Hang on, wait there. We've got a comment here.
Well,
I was there watching Taylor run 32 times, and somehow we never stopped him. It was painful. Yeah. It's one of them. 32 carries, 244 yards, 3 touchdowns. You mentioned about London, 6 receptions, 104 yards, 1 TD. It was a very good game. It was a good game for Germany, for the fans to watch, and the crowd was a great crowd.
Yeah, it went into overtime as well, which is absolutely brilliant for the people over there in Berlin. It was an entertaining game.
Yeah.
But the outcome. Okay, yes, it went into overtime, but I didn't have any doubt that the Colts were going to win that game, even in overtime.
Yeah. Lee?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. The Germans had a hell of a game, sort of coming to them, and the Colts have made it difficult for themselves. They're 8-2 on the season. They've got a few hard games coming up now. So they've got the Chiefs coming up in the next few weeks. They've got the Jags. I think they've got the Bills as well. I think we just have a quick check who they've got. So yeah, so they're on a bye week now, and then they're at Kansas City, home to Houston, at Jacksonville, at Seattle, home for San Fran, home for Jacksonville, and away for Houston. So they're gonna clinch the playoff berth. It's just can they keep that 8-2 sort of record going? After that performance against the Falcons, I'd like to think that other teams are going to be starting being more competitive now against them. But yeah, the Colts are still going through. The Falcons were really unlucky on that one. I think there was a few coaching decisions which probably hindered them from clinching the game.
I agree.
And I know probably Ben Lowe's is very frustrated. He spent all that money to go out there and watch his team almost clinch the win.
Well, I think you might be frustrated, but not as much as Coach Russ when we talk about this next game. Right, the next game was... Oh, no, I'm skipping way too far ahead of myself here. We'll get to Coach Russ later. Let's talk about the Jets and the Browns. So the Jets won 27-20. Myself and Lee backed the Jets. Steve backed the Browns. It wasn't a bad game. Wasn't a bad game to watch. Caught a lot of the highlights as well. I had Red Zone on for most of the day. But Jets with is that 2 wins in a row?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe some momentum to polish a very, very awful season, which you won't like, Coach Russ. I'm sure you dislike this team more than anyone. Oh, hang on, wait there. 3rd and 21, and Daniel Jones ran for 19. That is mental. That is mental. But yeah, 70% of the public back the Browns. I can understand that because of the defense and how the Jets have been. But a great win for the Jets. I'm going to go to Lee on this one first. Did you catch this game? What are you thinking, mate?
Yeah, I was watching this with a keen eye because it was sort of the battle of the bottom of the power rankings, isn't it? Or the sort of fighting for who doesn't want to be at the bottom or the first pick in the draft, I suppose. But yeah, it was
a bit mad how they scored the TDs as well. It was one was on a punt return, and then they held on to
punt return, a kick return. It was all on. Yeah, it was most of it
literally the same. Just mad.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. I think Justin Fields didn't have that many yards on the game either. I think he only had less than 50 yards on the game through the air. Breece Hall obviously carried them a lot of the way through there. But yeah, it's just I think the defenses have really they're starting to shine now. I just think it's the offenses which are really struggling. Justin Fields, running around in the pocket, getting sacked. Yeah, it doesn't look good for Justin Fields.
When it consistently happens, it absolutely knackers your confidence. Oh, we've got a guest. Hang on 1 minute. Do you want to say hello, Frank? You're here now, so may as well do it. Here we go. Say hello, Frank. You took your shirt off, eh? You all right? We'll have to kick it out, don't I, mate? Okay. Coach Russ, did you catch this?
No, I didn't. But with these two teams, they, the bottom of the leagues and stuff, they've got to win. They've got that chance to win. And it didn't surprise me that it was a close game, and some points were being scored. But when they go up against some of the middle of the road teams, or even some of the higher teams, both these teams are buckling at the moment. They just haven't got that X factor to break it and win a game. So that's all I got for that.
It's mad because we talk about the Jets too often in terms of how did he get better. So like Broncos had like a really bad few seasons, like 2-3 seasons. There's some seasons where they were close. They got to playoffs last season, but you can see kind of how it's going to rebuild. Jets have been that poor for that long, but they've got some great draft things coming up, so it's going to be interesting. He's trying to get in here. This dog, he wants to be on this stream forever. Right, but no, a good game to watch, a good game for the neutral. The next one shocked me. So all three of us backed the Panthers to beat the Saints, and the Panthers on a little bit of a roll. I think we would have liked to have said. But the Panthers got beat by the Saints 17-7. 100% of the public backed the Panthers to beat the Saints. All three of us backed them, and it just wasn't good enough. Rookie Tyler Show, I might be pronounced that wrong, through two TDs to earn the first win as Saints, defeated the Panthers, and it wasn't a great game to watch, but they're not going to be bothered. They wanted that win. I'm going to go to Coach Rush. Did you catch any of this? I wouldn't be bothered if you didn't miss it, mate.
I saw a couple of clips, but what I want to say is that they actually won this in their white kit. So your
hoodoo
about their black kit being lucky for them, they might have switched to the other side, and
No, they've got three kits. They've got the gold, the white, and the black, because it's the gold one that makes you want to vomit.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. Sorry, I'm glad you cleared that up for me. But they're but I mean, come the end of the season, where they're going to be, what they're going to be.
Oh, nothing. Look. It's polishing a. I'm not going to say the last word. We try and keep it PG as possible. That's what it is. It's polishing a. And that's that. Did you catch us any, Lee?
I saw clippets of it. I wasn't overly entertained with the game.
It wasn't a game I was looking forward to. I don't think.
I mean, it's the only sort of stat about Tyler Shook is, he spent a long time in college. So he was actually eligible to sort of be drafted in the NFL. I think it was 3-4 years ago, but he continued on, and he's actually quite old in sort of relation to when actually people normally come into the NFL. Whether that's given him time to develop, I don't know. Is he going to be the Saints quarterback next year? I don't know. It's definitely an upgrade to Spencer Rattler. I'm not a big fan of Spencer Rattler, so it's interesting. I mean, you still got Alvin McCarthy. Alvin, what's his last name? Alvin.
And the Chipmunks. Come back to us when you remember the name. Let's see.
Yeah, they've still got good talent all over that. Yeah. All over that field, and it's just I think it was just a fluke, rather than the Panthers slipping up. I think it was more of a fluke for Saints.
Next game, we all picked the Buccaneers to beat the Patriots. 52. This was the closest vote, I think. 52% of the public backed the Bucs, 48% backed the Patriots. We all backed the Bucs, but it was a great game. This one, I've watched the highlights twice. I thought it was that decent. 28-23, the Patriots won. They keep on grinding out wins. They keep doing it consistently. They're looking good. They're going to make the playoffs. How far they go, I don't know. Great win for the Pats against a very, very good Bucks team. And, this is a Bucks team that were a few weeks ago top of some people's power rankings. Lee, you've got them at 10th. You've got the Pats at 6. We won't talk about the rest of it till later. Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean the Patriots are coming into a new era, and with their head coach, Vrabel. I mean, if he's not in contention for Coach of the Year, honestly, has to be him,
because no one was expecting this. This consistent.
No, I mean, I suppose the only other one would be Steichen from the Colts, but I think Vrabel has turned that whole entire franchise around so hard and taken what was there last year and just made it into something amazing. And they are, they're in contention to winning that division. I mean,
I think they will do. I don't see anyone stopping.
I mean,
momentum in this sport is so much, and they've got this consistency and the momentum's there.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not one of them where I hate the Pats. I don't hate the Pats. There's other teams I hate. We've gone into this already, but it's interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see how they crack on, and yeah, excited for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Coach Ross, did you catch this one? Does it pain you to see the Patriots doing so well? They're in your div, aren't they?
No. Yeah, but no, I don't like. I mean, I've never liked the Pats anyway. I didn't even like Brady, but since the Brady era, it's been a long time coming for them to get into the position where they are, and I totally agree with what Lee said with regards to building the franchise back up again, and I think, and a lot of it is keeping people injury free. I think, they're not seem to be having many injuries through it, and neither are the Bucks. But the Bucks is a very, very strong team. But the Patriots are, like you said, has got the momentum, and they're really pushing hard. Let's see what happens towards the end to the playoffs. Because normally teams that aren't doing that brilliantly start coming on strong towards the playoffs.
Yeah,
start winning games. With the Pats, let's see if they can stay healthy. Yes, they probably will. They'll be there. But let's see what happens.
Interesting. Well, let's move on to the next one. Again, this was another good game. Vikings against the Ravens. The Ravens, can they do the impossible? 80% of the public and all three of us backed the Ravens to win. The Ravens won 27-19. Great little win. Good win for the Ravens. It's third straight game win. Three takeaways to take down gaff prone Vikings 27-19. Lamar Jackson, very cool, very calm. Brilliant performance by him again. They are firing on all cylinders now. He's back in the team. It's a team I wouldn't want to play in the playoffs. There's teams. I know. Look, I'd like to think my team's going to make the playoffs. That is one team I wouldn't want to play. That is. I mean, he's so good, and like obviously when he was injured, I didn't really see much of a panic because now will come back and they'll do it. They're doing it. They're doing it consistently. I'm going to go to Coach Russ on this one. Did you catch this game?
I didn't catch it, but I've been catching up on some other stuff with the team. But historically wise, the Ravens have always had a strong defense up until recently. And the reason why is that their offense haven't been performing and they're constantly on the field. They're constantly not getting it. But as soon as Jackson stepped in, that's taken all the pressure off their defense. They're free flowing, and they can start getting back to what they normally do. And that's what they're doing. So, like you said, now their quarterback's back, they're gonna start excelling for the next, to the playoffs.
I will say this: they got to win I know they're on a 3-game streak, but the first game they won of this 3-game streak, it was the backup QB. That was such a big win to carry the momentum, because they knew there was and ahhing whether Jackson was going to be back. We knew he'd be back for the game last week. Sorry, no, the week before last. That win there, that could be such a big clinical point of the season. Lee, did you catch this one, mate?
Yeah, I mean, again, I was watching this. Obviously, Jackson's always, really exciting to watch. But yeah, I mean, they were 1-5 on the season, and it was like you say, it was the backup QB who came in and beat Chicago, and then they beat Miami, and now they've beaten Minnesota. You look at their schedule coming up. They're at Cleveland. They've got New York Jets at home, Cincinnati at home, Pittsburgh at home, and then they've got Cincinnati away, New England at home, Green Bay away, and at Steelers to finish off the season. So looking at that schedule,
is that the 8-0 Green Bay Packers?
That's the 8-0 Green Bay Packers. But I mean, I can quite easily see on this list, there's at least another five games there, 5, maybe even 6, which would take them up to, 9 and 8 on the season, or potentially 10 and 7. Which would definitely get them into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And like you say, they're a scary team when they hit the playoffs, because they become unpredictable. Any given Sunday. But if the opposite team isn't playing to their best, and Lamar Jackson he's going to run all over these teams in the playoffs. So yeah, really exciting to see how the Ravens do get on from this, and it'll be interesting to see how the Vikings recover after that really bizarre win last week over the Lions, and then losing against the Ravens this week. So
there is no consistency with that team whatsoever. I've said this all season. There is no consistency, and it's absolutely bizarre. Let's move on to the next game, which shock of the week has to be the shock of the week. We had the Dolphins against the Bills. 100% of the public and all 3 of us backed the Bills, because it's the Dolphins. They've been awful. They've been imploding from the inside, quicker than that Titan submarine. But they won. They won 30-13, and they didn't just win. It was convincingly won. Like, people, the commentators were scratching their head. They won. I'm going to go to Lee first on this one. Did you fall off your chair? Was you shocked? Did you?
Yeah,
Did you think you banged your head and woke up in another dimension?
I mean, just watching it was absolutely bizarre. Tua was having a game of his life. Josh Allen was just really struggling to get the ball where he wanted it. Players weren't in the right position. The Bills just looked tired. They really did. And I don't know if that's the Miami Heat, that, they went down there, they probably didn't acclimatize properly, and they've struggled. It's a major factor. Buffalo, who are, probably coming into their winter seasons hitting sort of, zeros and sort of +5s around that sort of temperatures, going into Miami, which would have probably been about 30 degrees at that sort of
tropical for them, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I think they just really struggled. Obviously, when we see that, when Miami go up to somewhere like Green Bay, or to
Chicago,
to the Bills, to Chicago, or the Bills, to go into traveling up there, as soon as it gets a bit cold, all the players are just not performing their best. So it's the problem about the states being so big, and obviously the warmer climates down south and the cooler ones up the top there. But yeah, it was a real shock. Really was a big shock.
Oh, I'm going with it. Watching this in a pub, watching a German fan, Bills fan, slowly lose their mind over 3 hours was quite entertaining. Oh, we can't say German swear words either, but I can imagine. It was a bit of a mad one, because obviously I think we're all in a few football chats, and I just wasn't expecting it. It was just, cheers, coach. Ready for whatever happens. I'll see if I can get permission. 6 stone down, nearly 6 stone down. I'm short enough. I'm about 6 pounds short of 6 stone. So
you'll be a tight end soon, mate. Don't worry.
I think I'm gonna go field goal and kicking and We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Coach Rush, did you catch this? I've been to you already. I'm sorry, it's that part of the day.
No. I didn't. I just saw the result. I can't believe the result, but it is what it is. You know, one team had a bad day and one team had an exceptional day, and that's all it is for me.
So Patriots are top in the AFC East. The Bills are second at 6-3. Now you've got the Jags on 5-4, the Chiefs are 5-4, the Texans are 4-5. Is there a chance that the Bills can fall out of playoff contention with performances like that continue?
That's a tough one. I mean, you've got, the current standings. You got them and the
last one to read this out. Smells of poo. Sorry, mate. I had to do it before you. I think this might be our guest hosting next week. By the way, I'm waiting to hear back on that. Go on, mate.
Yeah, so I think the Bills are they're gonna finish, if not in the top of their division, if things don't go their way, they're gonna be in the 5 seed. I think.
I don't see them finishing above Pats because you literally need the Pats to lose the next 3 games and them to win the next 3 games. Do the Pats look?
Yeah, but they'll definitely be in a. If they're not, they'll definitely be in a wild card. They have to be.
I mean, the Pats have got the New York Giants, Cincinnati. New York Jets, Cincinnati, and then the Giants as their next 3 games. So, and then they go into their bye, which is a really late bye.
So you said the Bengals, yeah?
Yep. So they got the Jets first.
You'd imagine they'd win that.
Easy. Bengals away.
You'd imagine they win that if the wrong Bengals turn up.
Yeah, and then they got the Giants.
Easy win. Giants are awful. We'll get to that later. Don't worry. I'm trying to get a bite out of them already. But look, I've got the in the hunt. We'll talk about that in a moment. I want to kind of crack on with these results. I'm sorry, Coach Russ. We've got to talk about this one. Next up, we had the Bears against the Giants. All 3 of us backed the Bears. It was a close. It was 24-20. 80% of the public backed the Bears. What's going on, Coach Russ? For me, I just want to say, since you had that week with the injuries, it's gone downhill. It's like you've lost that spark in the dressing room. I've seen something about you going to use a backup QB for the next game.
Jameis Winston. He's starting this weekend. Just go to this game. I'm absolutely fuming with the defense of the Giants. I want to get rid of Shane Bowen as a DC. Absolutely toilet. Don't want him.
Toilet.
Please toilet. Just get rid of him. They got rid of Brian Dable, the head coach this week. They should have got rid of the DC. Anyway, defense, front 7, absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Secondary, awful. The play calling, the DC was given soft coverage, especially in the last few minutes of that game. Soft coverage, a little bit of a prevent defense, and they just let them march down the field. Just let them. And tackling, don't get me on about tackling. I don't know if you noticed this year with right across the NFL, most of the defense are tackling shoulder height. Nobody's getting down low. Nobody's bringing that player down. They're all trying to punch the ball out. Yes, it's worked quite a few times, but a lot of these offensive players are just spinning out of these tackles and breaking these tackles. And even when they're in the grass, they're getting thrown for extra yardage,
Do you think your mentality's gone massively down since that loss against the Broncos? Because that was a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, I sent you the screenshot of 4 games that we were leading, up until 5 minutes of the game, and just throwing these games away. It's just been really. You could tell by the way my attitude is that. Just a couple of things. Obviously, Jameis Winston start for this weekend. We've got a new receiver coming in or returning. Isaiah Hodgins, 6'3". He's going to be on the 53-man roster. And
I'm going to let you read this. I'm going to let you read this comment if you can read it, mate.
Yeah. getting rid of the head coach, who is primarily an offensive and QB coach when defense is terrible. Sums up, absolutely. I mean, Brian Dable and the QB. Oh god, I'm so angry. I can't even figure his name.
Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart, yeah. That they had, he was getting nurtured by, but they had the great relationship. He played for his coach, and now they've got rid of the coach. He's on concussion protocol at the moment. He comes back, and he's got the interim head coach, Mike Kafka. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know how. I think they sacked the wrong person. They should have got rid of the DC, and I think we would have been all right. Just one little thing though that you might be happy about, Teo. Little Jordan Humphreys is going to be on your 53-man roster.
Oh yeah,
weekend. Yeah. Transferred in from the Giants. He's a good little receiver, good baller, slightly undersized, but I think he'd do you guys well. I think we shouldn't have let him go, in my opinion. But there you go. Let's see. Somebody to watch for you.
Interesting. Lee, did you catch this one, mate?
Yeah.
Are you as angry as Coach Russ is?
No, to be fair, I mean, I backed the Bears to win this, so I was rooting for the Bears as usual, and obviously divisional rivals. I'd always like to see the Giants lose. But is Daboll going? I think it's a fair shout. Yes, he is a offensive-minded head coach. However, what that team needs right now is a defensive-minded coach, somebody who's going to take the talent that is there and make sure that the DC is doing his job correctly. The offense is going to work once everybody's back to full fitness, once they've got Malik Neighbors back, once they've got Scatterbo back. They're going to be okay. It's the defense that needs sorting out, because you have got some talent on that defense that are just not being utilized right now.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
But yeah, I mean, it's a shame, because I generally thought the Giants would be in contention this year with.
Why are you saying it's a shame? You messaged me before saying you're going to ridicule them for how bad they were. I'll put the screenshot on the chat.
I was waiting for it. I was actually going to come on this show. The old fans with the old brown paper bag on their head with the upside down smile.
Yeah.
That's how I was going to do the show tonight. It's awful. It's a mess, and I hope they really clean this mess up very, very quickly.
Well, something needs to change to try and polish this bad season, because if it carries on, Jets are going to finish on more wins than you, and that is not great. Let's move on to the next one, folks. Texans against the Jags. For some stupid reason, we all backed the Jags, as well as 67% of the public, and the Texans won 36-29. Their defense did what they had a good one. Backup QB Davis Mills and the Texans overcame a 19-point fourth quarter deficit to stun the Jags 36-29. Listen, I like the Texans. I've said this all season about the Jags. It's a very much, it has to be this season. Not good enough for the Texans, for the Jags at all. The Texans, they're in the hunt for the playoffs. But the Jags, I'm scrolling on my thing here to see where they are.
So they're in the 6th seed, they're 5 seed at the moment in the table.
7th, so they're just in there. But when you look out, if I'm playing that team, I'd be made up in the playoffs. If that was my team I was playing in the playoffs, let's say my Broncos were playing Jack, I'd be made up. I'd be thinking, right, that's a very, very winnable fixture. They're just too inconsistent. I'm going to go to Lee on this one. Did you catch this one?
Yeah, I mean, I was watching it. The Jags were, trailblazing away, and I thought, well, there's another pick that I've got correct, and looking really smug at my house. And then the last 5 minutes, I was watching it on the red zone, going, what just happened?
It was like watching the Giants against the Broncos, wasn't it?
Yeah, okay. Thanks, guys.
Incredible.
We've got one bite. We've got one bite.
It was incredible to watch. They're moving the ball really well. Just taking those little gambles. it was great to watch. It's just really disappointing that the Jags didn't come through in the end. And yeah, I think again they've got some looking in the mirror. You know, they've just lost obviously Travis Hunter, their star wide receiver, stroke cornerback now for the season. He's out with a LCL injury. You know, Brian Robinson's just not performing as a wide receiver. So who's catching the ball?
Yeah,
who's catching the ball?
They've got a tough few weeks going on this. Coach Russ, did you watch this one?
I just watched some clips of it. You know, Lawrence. Yeah, I mean Lawrence looked on fire, didn't he? He absolutely. I thought, wow, he's back. He's really gone. He's slinging this ball around. You know, but you know, other than the game they won when he tripped into the end zone because nobody even wanted to touch him and whatever. He hasn't got the to finish a game. You've really got to stay on it to finish a game, and they just didn't. You know, they started, like I say, Lee said, they started really well, and then suddenly collapse. And you know, I for one know exactly how that feels like. It's absolutely awful to watch, and probably even for them to play, to see it happening. And yeah, you know, but then again, next week they'll probably win by, I don't know, a score or two score. You just don't know with the Jags at the moment. You know.
They're another one of them inconsistent teams.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
agree. Next up, this wasn't a close game at all. The Seahawks played the Cardinals. I'd clearly been smoking something because oh, hang on, I've got another comment here. What's this? Replying to Paul Day. Paul Day, not a tight end. Hey, listen, I'll play whatever position I want to. Put me a QB coach. So the Seahawks played the Cardinals. I clearly was smoking something as I picked the Cardinals. 85% of the public, Lee and Steve, backed the Seahawks to beat the Cardinals, and they didn't just beat them; they spanked them. Lawrence scores 2 defensive touchdowns, and the Seahawks dominate the Cardinals. I'm going to go to Coach Rush. Did you catch any of this? Seahawks looking very, very good.
Yeah.
They're quite high up in a lot of people's rankings, and some people the top. What did you think?
Well, I saw some. Then again, I've only seen some clips because I've had a busy week. But I've got to take my hat off to Lee with his power rankings because we all laughed at him about the Seahawks.
I agree.
We all laughed, and they're certainly proving us wrong on that. You know, they seem to be a well-rounded team at the moment, and they're pushing through. So yeah, good for them.
Lee, what are your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I think the real test comes with this next week. Obviously, they've got the Rams coming up this week.
Hard game, that very hard game.
That's what I mean.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later. But you know, the Seahawks have sneaking under that radar and pulling these wins out, and you know they are currently sitting top of their division. You know, I don't think anybody expected that with Sam Darnold in there. I know he had a great season with the Vikings last year, but you know, towards the end of the season and into the playoffs, he looked a bit of a washout. But new team, new scheme, he's doing really well. And Jackson Smith and Jigba, you know, the running backs, the whole offense is moving that ball into the end zone and scoring touchdowns galore. I mean, 44 points in a game is phenomenal, especially against a divisional rival as well. So I mean, we'll see where they are in my power rankings. You've seen them online.
We'll talk
they
about
deserve
that
to be. Yeah.
Right, on to the next one. I've not really got much to say in this game. It was expected. It was boring because it was that much of a score difference. 92% of the public and all three of us backed the Lions to beat the Commanders. The Commanders have just been so bad for too long. 44-22 to the Lions. Lions ranked 3rd, so looking pretty good for a playoff spot. This game was over by half time. It was 25-10 at half time. Lions ran away with it. The Commanders, they are 3 for 7. Lions are 6 for 3, but I'm expecting with the Commanders to get beat. They were all right for the first few weeks, and it's just nosedived. Lee, did you catch this one? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I'm surprised.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Looking at your power rankings, which we're going to go into in a minute, I'm surprised you've not put the Commanders up there because you've got the Chiefs up there and they're 5 and 4. But we'll get into that in a bit.
I think the Commanders are in dire straits at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, they've got Marcus Mariota in at quarterback, whilst you know, what's his name? Daniels. Yeah, Daniels is currently nursing a dislocated left shoulder.
Elbow, wasn't it? His elbow.
Yeah, or shoulder. Yeah, it was elbow, wasn't it? It was his elbow that popped in the wrong direction, which is absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
Mariota he is a definition of a done quarterback. You know, how he's still even a backup quarterback, I don't know. You know, he's more of a practice squad quarterback in my eyes. And I think, you know, until Jaden Daniels come back, I think they're going to continue to struggle. They really are.
I agree. I agree. They need this season to be over. They'll be looking for a good draft pick, looking for next season. And I still think they should change the name back to the old team name. Coach Russ, what were your thoughts on this one, mate?
Pretty much the same. Just, you know, I think the command. I mean, division. You know, they're in our division, Giants division. I'm just, you know, they had a good start. Without their QB, they're not going to be. They're going to struggle, really struggle.
I'll let you read that, Coach Russ. Or I can if you can't read it. If you can't see very well. I'll read it. The Commanders leaving recently back from injured. QB in the game to dislocate their arm was baffling. Dan Quinn could very easily get fired for that decision. You won't find a part of me disagreeing with you on that one. As you were, Coach Russ.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much what I've got to say on them.
It was one of them. Next game, move on to it. It wasn't a great game, but it's still better than the Broncos game. That was awful. Right, on to the next game. The 49ers against the Rams. The inconsistent 49ers against a decent Rams team. And the Rams ran away with it 42-26. 60% of the public and all three of us backed the Rams. Great day in the office for the Rams. Really poor day for the other team. Matthew Stafford throws 4 TDs. 4th straight win as well. Again, momentum, carrying that on. Did you catch this one, Coach Russ? I mean, look, the 49ers are 6 and 4. Have they got a chance to playoffs? Absolutely. Rams are 7 and 2. The reason we'll start mentioning the playoffs a little bit more is because we are getting to that point in the season, by the way, folks. But the 49ers still are in the hunt. We've got a big game this week, but the Rams, everything to prove at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, 49ers, you know, last time I was on the show, we discussed the fact that they're getting something right in the locker room, and they're starting to come out, and this, you know, they're moving McCaffrey around on the offense. He's going out in all different positions and stuff. Yeah. What can I say? You know, that's all I've got to say on the 49ers.
It's going to be interesting the next few weeks for both of these teams. But obviously the Rams are very much in the hunt, but the 49ers will be interesting. Lee, did you catch this one, buddy?
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, Stafford had an outstanding game in this one. You know, they've still got Daniel Jones, Mac.
You're on one today, mate. You aren't you?
Mate, I don't know. I tell you what, I've been learning lines for this.
I'm going to change your name to Lee to Dory.
Dory, mate. Tell me about it, mate. I'm all over the place.
Me last week.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, we're still waiting for the QB1 to come back to San Francisco. However, it's, you know, their schedule's still looking in their favor, and I think you're probably right. I think they're going to nip in with a, you know, potentially a 10-7 or maybe even 11-6 season. You know, at the moment, you look at the teams above them. You've got the Packers and the Bears sort of loitering around in that 6 and 7 seed. I can't see the Bears staying in there. So I think it's going to be 3 NFC West teams into the playoffs.
Very, very, very big claim, that, mate. But I think there's a good chance you're right. So on to the next one. The Chargers against the Steelers. Myself and Lee backed the Steelers. We were clearly drinking lots of alcohol. Steve backed the Chargers, and the Chargers absolutely spanked Aaron Rodgers. He got absolutely battered. I don't know if you've seen his coach's comments. He clearly wasn't impressed after the game. 25-10. I'm pretty sure we've seen how injured the Chargers were, and that was our reasons for it. I said last week, and I should have kind of stuck with it really. If I'm fourth string right tackle and I'm getting the opportunity to play, I'm going to do everything to make sure that I'm no longer fourth string and that I'm first string. So that might be the chat that they're having, because they've got a very depleted O-line. Great win for the Chargers. Steelers are giving this league away to the Ravens. We said this a few weeks ago. We all think I think the Ravens will finish top. It's a bad loss for the Steelers. I did watch quite a bit of it. It wasn't great. The only hope for the Steelers is they've got the Bengals this week. But yeah, Lee, I'm curious to your thoughts on this one. I mean,
hugely disappointing game. You know, the Steelers had that momentum. You know, we talk about how important momentum is in the league, and they just blew it. They really did. They just didn't look like they were the Steelers from the weeks prior. And nothing seemed to be clicking. You know, DK Metcalf is out there. And, you know, where are the explosive runs that we were used to seeing DK doing down the field? You know, Aaron Rodgers is he likes to check down to his tight ends rather than looking for DK, and I think that's becoming a real big issue now. And I don't know if that's because it's Aaron Rodgers and he's getting jumpy in the pocket, trying to get rid of the ball really quickly. But yeah, I mean, the hats off to the Chargers. They deserve that win. And again, you know, they're keeping themselves in contention for the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, you've got two teams from the AFC West are in the playoffs as it stands at the season's end today. The Chiefs are just outside. They're ranked 8th in the AFC, even though they're ranked 5th in some people's power rankings. Coach Rush, did you catch this one?
No, but I've heard I've heard a couple of things about the Steelers this week. That the first thing is that there's rumblings going on that the locker room is not happy. The reasons for it haven't come out, but something's happened in that locker room. So they're trying to hold that together. And the other thing is that Mike Tomlin, I don't think he's too happy there at the Steelers after being there for all these years, and he wants to change. I mean, there was talk about the Giants trying to nab him for it, but he's under contract and he can't move anywhere till the end of the season. But I don't think things are quite right in the Steelers locker room at the moment. But let's see what happens towards, you know, as the games go on. Let's see if they can sort themselves out and, you know, after throwing their teddies out the pram, bring them all back in and cuddle them and get on with football.
Yeah, as it stands, the ranked 4th. That's because the top of the group. But I don't think they'll do it. I think they'll end, and I think I can see it being Rodgers' last season. He's not going to want to put his body through this. On to the next game, which was the final game of the week. Congratulations, Leon, winning your bet. I will get that money sorted, by the way. Some awful refereeing decisions again. We're saying the same thing every week, and it's no conspiracy towards the Eagles. It's just poor decisions. I'm sure you've seen it. But yeah, it was a very, very close game. 58% of the public, myself and Steve, backed the 8-0 Packers that aren't 8-0. Sorry, Steve. Lee, you backed your team, the Eagles. 58% of the public, again, I'm repeating myself, backed the Packers, but 10 points to 7. Lee, I'm going to go to you straight away on this one. What are your thoughts, mate? I'm the referee decision, mate. I want to know what you think about some of the referee calls.
So, obviously, we're probably talking about the two tush pushes that happened, one by both sides. So, Green Bay initially went for a bit of a tush push themselves, and you know, their left guard, I believe it was, or right guard, perhaps, jumped offside before the ball was snapped. Probably about 10 plays later, the Eagles found themselves in the similar situation where they were going for a tush push, and the left guard, Landon Dickerson, clearly jumped offside before that ball was snapped. But when you're in that close proximity and that fast paced, is really hard for those side judges to pick that up.
But that's what they have the video technology for, me.
They do,
So, like,
but I think that's where it should be going. We should be banning the tush push. We just should enforce more sort of opportunities to go up to the top and just check the film to make sure everything was legal.
because in terms of like normal football, what people call soccer, I feel like this year people have been moaning less about VAR, and they've kind of just accepted it, and it benefits your team sometimes it doesn't. We've had this technology in football for a long time. It just keeps happening, and that's I get the frustrations on that part. And we've spoke about this before about random conspiracy theories about Tom Brady and all this. No, he was just a really good QB. He was just a really good QB. Obviously there was the deflate ball scandal and all that jazz. But there was no referee help. It is what it is. But it was a good game. It was.
I mean, it was a polar opposite to what obviously the Broncos and the Raiders was. It was an exciting game.
We don't talk about that here. We don't talk about that. Windy.
Windy. But it was an exciting defensive game. Jalen Phillips, obviously newly acquired from the Dolphins under Howie Rosen, one of his magical trades that he does, made an impact on that team straight away. We obviously saw Brandon Graham coming in from retirement as a defensive end, again making plays. I think the defense they're firing on all cylinders. What we need now is for the offense to sort themselves out. Get the ball into AJ Brown's hands. Get the ball into Devontae Smith's hands. Let the guys do the work. At the moment, it just seems to be run play. It's so predictable, and I think our problem is our OC is too afraid to throw the ball.
I get where you're coming from, mate, but how many Super Bowls have you won in the last few years? If I was in your position, look, I'd rather we threw the ball more, but I'm going to trust this guy. And in all fairness, mate, they are top of your power rankings.
Yeah, they are top.
Not calling you a spoiled brat, but what more? How much more do you want? What's that little kid called in Harry Potter? Neville Longbottom? No, not Neville Longbottom. Yeah. The one that lives at home. You know which one I'm going on about. You're like, I've only got 43 presents. Last year I had 44. What more do you want? Like pretty much every other team, apart from me, the Chiefs would kill to have the last few years that the Eagles have. Coach Russ, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, Lee knows well what I think about the Eagles, but they're making it work. They're grinding these games out, and they're winning. They're winning them, apart from one of the Giants games. But other than that, they're
on the Broncos. On the Broncos.
Sorry, and the Broncos. So yeah, no, but this game was always going to be a tough game. Always going to be a tough game, and it could have gone either way. But the Eagles found that way to push through and get the win.
Okay, right. Now we've done week 10. I want to go over Lee's power rankings. Oh, okay. Hang on. One moment. We've got a comment. Let the guys do the work. Giving the ball is letting the guys do the work. What have you got to say to that?
That's one play. He's running. Our offense was explosive last year because we had the ball being thrown to AJ Brown and Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith, and then to complement it, we handed the ball off to Saquon. At the moment, all we seem to be doing is just handing the ball to Saquon, and the defenses are becoming wise to this now. We need to change it up. We need to be putting the emphasis on passing the ball first, and then passing it.
I honestly think if you played us the way you're playing, it would be the same result again.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Right, let's go over these power rankings. Okay, we're going to start at 10. And then, I don't even... Right, so in 10, we've got the Buccaneers. Let me just load up something else while I'm doing this, because I just want to see something. So the Buccaneers, at the moment, they are fourth in their seasons. They got beat, obviously, but they're fourth in their seasons. The Colts are ninth. Who are top in their seasons at the moment. Who've been, I can't swear, brilliant. Then we've got the Broncos in 8th, who are second in their seed, 8-2 Broncos. Then we've got the Chiefs. Again, not my power rankings, Lee's power rankings, who aren't even, if the season's that finishes as it was, as it stands, they wouldn't be in the playoffs. They're 5-4. Then we've got the Patriots. We've got the Bills, the Lions, the Rams, the Seahawks. And then we've got the Eagles, who aren't playing very good at the moment, apparently.
So,
Lee,
I mean,
the floor is yours. I will
Right.
do my best to behave.
okay. Right. Okay. So the Buccaneers, they've dropped quite a bit down to 10. And that is down to injury. You know, they've got Mike Evans out. They've still missing out on their running back. Godwin seems to be in and out of the lineup. Baker is doing the best he can, and he is a gunslinger, and he's doing an amazing job with who he's got around him. But they're just missing that extra guy. Oh, Matthew Smith just put, what drugs was this guy doing to made all these power rankings? I don't know. The Colts, right? People are going to get up on me on the Colts. Okay, they are top of the AFC at the moment. That
Did
is
you
not
realise
gonna
you
last.
are digging yourself a hole by... Go on, keep going. Sorry, I'll shut up.
That is not going to last. This is how the season's going to finish, and I'm trying to predict on how that season's going to work. I cannot see the Colts winning out too many more games. They're going to make the playoffs. Yes, they're going to make the playoffs. Every team in that top 10 is making the playoffs. How far do they get beyond the playoffs? That's why they're at number 9. The Broncos, again, they're going to get into the playoffs. I can see that. I can see that they've got talent, but they're going to fall at the first hurdle. They're going to be out. They're not going to make it to the divisional rounds, unfortunately.
This clip's getting cut. This clip's absolutely getting cut. It's getting cut. And January, February, I'm posting it. Hang on, wait there. Read this. There you go.
A team who can't beat the Falcons in regular season is not going to be a number 1 seed in this league.
Keep going, mate. Keep going, mate. You're on.
So next we've got the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs. Now they've dropped. They dropped from last week. Okay, they dropped. All right, they dropped from where I had them because the team above them deserves to go above them. However, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They're going to win. They're going to go on a winning streak, and they're going to make the playoffs.
From when?
Oh, they're going to be doing it. They're going to be doing it this week.
They're
going to be absolutely smashing the team they're going to be playing this week.
Mate, don't bite. Go on, carry on, mate. Crack on. That Matthew Smith was right. You are on drugs. Keep going.
Woosa.
Patriots deserve to be in 6th place. They are absolutely in contention. However, the Bills Patriots, it was so hard to place these.
5th after getting spanked by the Dolphins.
Yes, but I'm putting that down to weather. I am putting that down to it got a little bit hot and humid.
Me crap about the Broncos, which was weather, and then
hot and humid. Anyway, the Lions in 4th. Okay. Now I know this okay is going to be a bit unrealistic because I've got 4 NFC teams in the top 4. Okay. But the Lions deserve to be in that 4th seed. Okay. They're showing their worth. They're going to be in contention to get into the divisional rounds, as is the Rams. Now the Rams and the Seahawks in this one, again, there may be a mix-up on the rankings this weekend. I want to see who's the better team out of the Seahawks and the Rams who are playing up against each other this week. The Eagles. My Philadelphia Eagles are in the number 1 seed. I am probably being a bit biased and putting them in first.
a bit
biased.
What's your reasoning for this one then, Lee?
Drugs.
I am putting it down for the fact that the Eagles' defense is now number 1 in the league. They are going to be unstoppable. The defense is what's going to win us the rest of the season and get us deep into the playoffs. If our offense can sort themselves out, then we are going to be Super Bowl bound. But that needs to happen first. But our defense 100% is fixed, sorted, done and dusted. Put a pin in it. Sorted.
I have a question, Lee.
Go for it.
Well, I have various questions, but I'm looking at the time as well. If the Broncos beat the Chiefs this weekend, did the Chiefs drop out your top 10?
The Chiefs will drop out. The Chiefs will drop out of the top 10. I promise you. If other scores go that way, the Chiefs will drop out of the top 10 if the Broncos win.
You've got the same record as the Steelers, mate.
See, the teams are on the outside looking in. Obviously, you've got to take in consideration. I've not even got the Ravens in this top 10.
I was about to say I'd have the Ravens in.
Yeah.
I genuinely would have the Ravens. I understand the Seahawks being up there, the Rams being up there. I understand you guys being up there. Lions, again, a great team. But for me, your top four has got to be two AFC and two NFC teams.
It should be. You're right, absolutely. But the AFC at the moment are just not providing the games. They're not providing good quality football.
Do you not think the Bills should be lower?
I agree. The Bills should be lower. And
I think after the performance in Miami, yes, I think they probably should have dropped lower. But again, this isn't. You can't make a rash decision on a poor performance from one game.
Oh no, I'm not saying that just because of that one game. I just think I still think that the Colts and the Broncos should be above the Bills.
I like you, Coach Rush. You can come on any week.
So that's why I do it. I'll tell you.
Do you know what? Do you know what you mentioned before about entertaining game? I would challenge you to say you'd struggle to name a few more entertaining games. I'm sorry to bring this up, Coach Russ. The Broncos and the Giants game.
Oh, it was awesome.
Brilliant game. If you're a football fan, you are like, oh my God, that's not my team, but oh my God, that is absolutely brilliant. So I disagree with you. I categorically disagree with you. I understand the Pats being up there. I think the Bills shouldn't be in there. I don't think the Chiefs should even be in there. Who's impressed me more, the Chiefs or the Ravens? The Ravens are 100%. But it's your power rankings. It's not the Tails power rankings, because if it was, there'd only be one team and it'd be my team. So let's get on to week 11. Week 11, there's some great games coming up, but we're going to get into it. We're going to start off with the Patriots against the Jets. That's the first game, isn't it? Am I on drugs?
Yes, tonight. Yeah, Patriots, Jets tonight.
So, by all means, I forgot to say this. Lock in your fantasy football teams. I won't lie. I'm more likely going to watch this in the airport because I'm at the airport from 2:30. So we got the Patriots against the Jets. Look, I'm really happy to see the Jets have got a few wins on the board. I've got some mates who are very miserable Jets fans at the moment, but I can't see anything other than a Pats win. Coach Russ.
Same.
Lee.
Yeah. The Jets are not going to be competitive against a very, very good Patriots.
Who, and again, I'm repeating, we weren't expecting to be this good. Right. Next one, we've got the Dolphins against the Commanders. I'm going for the Dolphins. That's a big win. That's momentum. Let's salvage. Let's finish the season as good as we can. One eye next season. And Commanders have just looked absolutely awful. I wouldn't be surprised if the Commanders won. I think this would be a high-scoring game, if I'm being honest. Not a very good game in terms of that, the quality of it. But I'm going for the Dolphins. Lee, who are you going for here, mate?
I'm going to go for the Dolphins. I don't think Mariota's got it in him to beat the Dolphins. They're going to come off, the Dolphins are coming off a really good win against the Bills, and I think they're going to carry that momentum forward and secure their win. Coach Russ?
Yeah, Miami for sure. I voted for them on the poll. Same as directly what Lee said. Coming off a strong win, they seem to have got their offense together. Defense is holding out really well from the last game, and let's see what happens. But yeah, definitely over the Commanders. It will be the Dolphins.
Next up, we've got the New York Giants against the Green Bay Packers, the not so 8-0 Green Bay Packers. I'm sorry, Steve, we're going to say that for the rest of the season. I'm going to go last in this one, so I'm going to go to Lee first. Who are you backing, the Giants or the Packers?
For me, it's going to be the Packers. I think the Giants have, they're really struggling without Scatterbo and Neighbors, and I think obviously with Daboll now gone, I think the ship's going to be unsteady for a few weeks. So unfortunately, I'm going to be backing the Packers in this one.
Okay, Coach Russ.
Obviously, I'm going to back my G-men. My reasons, I think Rodgers is going to be under a lot of pressure from our defensive front. We've got some real ballers on there, and I don't think that the Packers O-line are up to that challenge. The only thing that I'm worried about is see how Jameis Winston going in at QB, starting at QB. Let's see how he performs. He's got the targets to hit, but 99% of the time he makes really good decisions, and then that 1% he just fluffs the decision. So if he could get that 1% sorted out, I think we'll be okay. I'm backing the Giants.
I'm also backing the Giants.
Oh yes.
My reason for it is Packers' last few weeks have been a bit hit and miss, slipped up, and sometimes I get these feelings. I've been proven to be right, and I've picked some shocking results this season. So let's go on to the next one. The Titans are playing the Texans. I can't see anything other than the Texans win here, so I've gone for the Texans. I'm going to go to Coach Rush. Texans or the Titans?
Texans.
Cool. Lee?
Yeah, Texans on this one all day.
Yeah. I'm going to assume Steve's picked that, so I'm just going to amend my little spreadsheet thing here. If not, he's been consuming too much liquor. Then we've got the Falcons against the Panthers. Panthers were really on a good little run. Ruined it last week. Falcons, I think, will take full advantage of that. So I'm going to be going for the Falcons on this one. Lee?
Yeah, I think Ben's going to be happy with my decision. I'm going to be going Falcons as well. I think they had a really good show in Germany, and I think they're going to put pressure on an unstable Panthers team.
There's a lot they can take from that win. Not win, loss. There's a lot they can take from that. Some losses can be productive. It's good management who are going to get the most out of a team in a productive loss. Coach Russ?
Yeah, I voted for the Falcons on the thing. So yeah, I think they'll get over the line on this one for sure.
Yeah. Next up, we've got the Bears against the Vikings. I'm going for the Bears. Good chance of getting in the playoffs if they do things right. I'm going to go to Coach Russ on this one.
Yeah, went for the Bears. I think the Vikings are really floundering at times in a lot of their recent games, and I think the Bears are getting stronger.
Okay. Lee?
I'm going for the Vikings.
Oh, you nutter.
I think JJ McCarthy, I think he's got a little bit of aggression about him, and I think he's going to want this win quite bad. And I think Jefferson's overdue a good game, and I think it's going to be the Vikings game to win.
Okay. Next up, we've got the Jags against the Chargers. I think this is going to be Sophie Alex Baxter, murder on the dance floor. I think Chargers are going to spank the Jags. Look at me get proved wrong, maybe. You don't know. Lee, who are you picking this one?
Chargers. Chargers for me.
Coach Russ?
Yeah, I voted the Chargers on this one as well.
Cool.
Jags are too inconsistent at the moment.
Yeah. Next one's going to be an interesting one. The Bills against the Buccaneers. I have a Buccaneer, so I'm going to be going for the Buccaneers in this one. I think that last loss for the Bills might set off a bit of a snowfall. I'm going to go for Lee on this one. Who are you picking?
I'm going to go for the Bills on this one.
Okay.
I think it's managing what happened last week, adjusting to it, and I think it's obviously they're going to be up in Buffalo, so there's no weather conditions there that is going to affect them. Tampa Bay is obviously traveling from a nice warm environment to a cold environment, so I think the home team's going to have this one, and Bills are going to win.
Okay, Coach Russ.
I chose Tampa on this one, but I think this is going to be a close game.
I think it'll be a good game. I think this is I think this is one of a few games that could be game of the week. There's a few good tasty games this season.
Yeah.
Let's go to what I don't think will be a tasty game. The Steelers against the Bengals. I think it has to improve for the Steelers, so I'm going to be going for the Steelers, especially with Bengals defense. Coach Russ, who are you picking here?
Steelers.
Okay, Lee.
Yeah, I'm going to go Steelers, even though Bengals are coming off a bye week. I think, yeah, I think it's the Steelers games to lose again.
Then we've got the Cardinals against the 49ers. I'm going for the 49ers on this one. It's not a game that particularly interests me. Sorry to any Cardinals and 49ers fans. Lee, who you backing here, mate?
Yeah, I'm going to go for the Niners on this one.
Cool. Coach Russ?
Yeah, 49ers.
Cool. Okay. Great game this. The Rams against the Seahawks. I'm going to go for the Seahawks. I've liked what I've seen with the Seahawks. They very much have surprised me. I'm going to go to Lee next.
I can't remember who I picked for this one now. I mean,
It's all right. I can amend it now either way, mate. So
I think it's going to be the Seahawks. I think so. Who I'm going for. I think they're obviously the second in my power rankings, and I think it's going to be a tight game. No, I put the Rams, didn't I? I put the Rams.
yeah. So are you changing your mind?
Do you know what I'm going to? I'm going to stick with my arms. I'm going to go for Rams. I'm going to go for the Rams.
Okay.
I think they're obviously the Rams are the home team here. Yeah, I'm going to go Rams.
Okay. Coach Russ?
Yeah, I voted for the Rams. I absolutely love their offense. Although Seahawks defense are good, but the Rams offense, you just don't know what's coming at you when you're playing defense. Going with the Rams.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be a tight game. It's going to be so tight.
Next up, we got the Broncos against the Chiefs. Broncos 8-2 against the Chiefs 5-4. I'm going for my team. I'm backing my team. I think our defense is going to have a baller of a game. I imagine right now Steve's punching drive all over me saying that. I'm going to go to Coach Russ. Who are you backing here, the Broncos or the Chiefs?
The Broncos. I think the defense is so strong. I think they've got to just contain Kelsey because he's having
brilliant player. Brilliant player.
Yeah. So I think shut him down. I think the Broncos will, but it's going to be another tight game. It's going to be possibly another game of the week again.
Yeah. Well, last week's wasn't. Lee, who are you backing here, mate?
I'm going to go for the rested Kansas City Chiefs in this one.
I think that rest week is going to have a lot for them. I think for the Broncos, it's like, look, let's get this game done, get the win, and we rest next week. Yeah, we've got a bye week next week. Okay. Then we've got the Browns against the Ravens. I'm going to try something with Coach Russ. Lee, we've done this plenty of times. We're going to say who we think's going to win after 3. Okay, Browns or the Ravens. 1, 2, 3.
Ravens.
Yeah, we're the easy one. After that, we've got a brilliant game. We've got the Eagles against the Lions. Power rankings of Lee of 1 against 4. I'm going to go to Lee first. Who are you packing here, mate? The Eagles or the Lions?
Do you know what? It's the clash of the Titans, isn't it?
You've already played the Titans. Well, we're not the Titans, but you've already played the good one, the Broncos, mate. You got beat.
Anyway, the Lions are a really good offense, and I think they're going to hit our defense like a brick wall, and I think that's going to be a problem for them. We already know that they've got holes in their defense, and I think if the Eagles can expose that, I think they're going to walk away with a win.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say they're going to easily win. It's going to be a hell of a lot tighter than I really would like to watch, but the Eagles are going to walk away with a win.
He sounds confident. Coach Russ?
Lions. I've always liked the Lions. They're sort of my second team anyway. I've been there at Ford Stadium. Had a great time there on Thanksgiving Day with Bon Jovi at halftime. But
was you living on a prayer?
It was, yeah. Definitely the Lions of this one.
Oh my God! You give love a bad name, don't you? Right. on that note, as I always say, I'm going to be going for the Lions on this one. They're going to knock. I mean, maybe Lee might knock them off the top spot if the Lions win the Lee's power rankings. I just think with the Eagles, a lot's clicking, but not everything they need to get over the line. It's going to be a great game. So we've got to talk about a great game. Let's talk about what's going to be potentially a very horrendous game. It doesn't pay me to say this. The Raiders against the Cowboys. They're both rubbish. I'm picking the Cowboys because they're the less of the rubbish team. We've just organised our Hickory's Christmas jumper night, so we all turn up to Hickory's and wearing a really bad Christmas jumper. And I'm doing it. We're doing it on December the 7th in Hickory's in Preston, and coincidentally that's when we play the Raiders. So I'll be enjoying that one. But I just think the Raiders, it's just getting worse and worse. I can't see anything other than a Cowboys win. Lee, who are you backing here, mate?
I mean, the Raiders are overdue a win, but
That means nothing. Yeah,
it means nothing. They're overdue a win, but it means nothing. And I just don't think they're going to be in contention to beat, again, a rested Cowboys team. So I'm going to be backing the Cowboys, as much as it pains me to say.
Cool. Coach Russ?
Yep, Cowboys.
Cool. Well, it's week 11 done, folks. I'm not on next week. We will have a guest host who I'm yet to find out. If I am on, I'm more likely end up divorced, so let's not do that. I'm off to Tunisia tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that. Any nice plans for the week, boys?
So Sunday, I'm off overseas as well. I'm off to sunny Brunei, which is Southeast Asia for 10 days with work. So I'll be live streaming next week, 8 hours ahead. So I'll be setting my alarm for 4 o'clock in the morning to get up to jump on this podcast.
If only I could get on. One of us would be in Tunisia, one of us be wherever you're going to be, and then you'll have Steve in England. Coach Russ, any plans?
Yeah, I'm working at Cambridge United Football Club.
Brilliant.
This Saturday, playing Crew Alexander.
Oh, is in the football, normal football.
Yeah.
My mate's
kicky ball.
My mate's assistant manager at Crew, Kenny Lunt.
Really?
Yeah. Kenny's an old mate of mine. Oh God, he's took me on some nights out that I'm never going to repeat. Some hilarious nights out. He honestly, cracking guy. He was pretty much a Crew for most of his career, and now he's assistant manager there. I think he's assistant manager of reserves. It's one or the other. But no. And I'm really sorry to say this, mate. Oh, Crew spank you, because obviously he's a mate. Listen. Thank you very much for everyone that's joined. Thank you for everyone that's commented. If you want to come and jump on this show, please drop the page a message, drop one of us a message. We'd love you on. This has been the Audible Week 11. I've been Matteo.
I'm Coach Russ.
And I've been Lee.
And I'm going to bed. I will see you next week. I'll see you in 2 weeks, but the rest of the guys will see you next week. Thank you very much. You have a good one, folks, and take care. Cheers.
Have a great holiday.
This is where end stream doesn't work. I've got to turn my camera